Hi everyone, this is Chantay. Welcome to a week in review. I hope all is well. And I don't know what's going on with my space bar, but I'm just going to leave it as that. So here we are. COVID numbers. Got COVID. So we're still in the midst of a pandemic. No matter how many people getting vaccinated, we're still in the midst of a pandemic. So global confirmed cases, Haiti, we got 161,554,788. The global death toll is 3,353,195. The U.S. confirmed cases is 32,893,552. Wait, what? Don Lemon? I'm going to read this case again. So it's 32,893,552. And the U.S. death toll is 585,224. And yes, there are people are getting vaccinated, but according to some numbers I saw on MSNBC, 47% got their first dose. I'm part of that 47%. And 36 million, unfortunately, is fully vaccinated. So 36% is fully vaccinated. We have to have at least, oh no, is it 35? It's one of those. We have to at least have Wagwan. We have to have at least what is it? How many vaccinated? 70% of herd immunity. And we're not there. We're only halfway, but we're not fully there yet. And there's still vaccine hesitancy. But all of these other states want to open up fast, loosen the mask mandate, and have people go back to work and cut unemployment off, the extended unemployment off for people. I don't get that shit. I don't understand it. We're not at herd immunity, which is 70%. We only have 36% of the country fully vaccinated, while 47% had the first vaccine dose. That's not even 50% of the first dose. And yeah, we're not close to bending the curve. Let me just read one comment. Yeah, he said it's his last show and he's planning new thing to do with. Good luck to Don Lemon. But yeah, they announced that I'm tight. We're freaking out. Listen, New York City, New York State is supposed to, get this, New York City particularly is supposed to be, I think, going back to full capacity as of this weekend, I think. And honestly, I'm going to be real. As a person that got the first dose and about to get their second dose in 2 weeks, I'm scared as shit. I saw people in the city today loosen up their masks, and I live on the Upper West Side. So imagine when I go uptown to get my nails done in Harlem and see how that shit is. And my thing, and yeah, that's what I heard about California. My thing is, New Yorkers, yes, we have 58% of our people vaccinated. We're not at 70%. There was a lady in Staples the other day when I went to Staples and said, and she was a white lady, and she said she did not want to get vaccinated. So my question to these people that want to fully vaccinate, no, not fully, these people that want to fully open up without people getting the full vaccinations, why are you that ready and that desperate to open up your state? Why? I don't understand it. I don't get it. As a born and bred New Yorker, I don't want want my city to open up. I don't even want tourists to come here right now. Domestically and international. No. No. And the president making that statement, I know he's hopeful. He wants to get back to normal by 4th of July, but that's not good. But then again, you got these middle of the road independents, because I'm about to get into their asses, and these Republicans want to go back to normal so fast, but you the same motherfuckers that don't want to get vaccinated. And even though I got my first dose, because I'm going to get my second dose in 2 weeks, I still double mask. I'm a double masker. I've been double masking since November. Even though I live in very blue New York, the very blue New York that these progressives keep talking about, which they need to shut the hell up. We only 58% of us is only the city. The state, I think, is like, I don't know, the state is 58%. I'm not sure the numbers, but we're in the 50 somewhere. But we're not at a full place of vaccinations. And the reason why we're kind of slow on it, because we have a mayor in New York City that did not extend the vaccination sites. The governor, the same governor, had to step in. The one with the problems, he had to step in. That's going to be at the end of this thing. But yeah, I encourage everybody on here. And you got some health people that's following me. Go get your goddamn vaccinations. Moderna was developed by a black woman. Pfizer was developed by a black woman. If you didn't watch Lawrence's town hall 2 nights ago, I encourage you to watch the replay. It was very good. Dr. I think Kissy was on there, and she was amazing. And even though I got my first dose, like I said, I am going to continue to wear my mask. Oh, no problem. I will do that at the end of this. I will DM the link. And she's 35. She's my age. So young, black, and developed the vaccine. She's saving lives out here. Yo, black women are saving lives out here. They saved Georgia, because I'm about to get into that. They saving, let's see. They saved people's lives during COVID. And now they're saving the world with the vaccine. How amazing that is. And some of us is on TV. So kudos. But now getting to the politics of anything. Are y'all laughing at the GOP? Because I'm laughing. I got off the phone with my mom. And my mom is an old school person that views politicians. But then it's like, she doesn't feel bad for Liz Cheney. And I don't feel bad for Liz Cheney. Because why? She's getting exactly what she deserved. When she came into Congress in 2017, she voted 93%. One of the Republicans that voted the most with Donald Trump. And all because she stood up for the truth, which that's supposed to be your job, to tell the truth. Now they boo her out of her job. I'm going to say this again and again. Elizabeth was silent on a whole bunch of things. Elizabeth was silent on the former guy who called Mexicans drug dealers, rapists, murderers, and etc. Because I almost forgot what he called them almost. And she was silent on him saying white supremacists were great people. She also was silent on kids in cages, silent about kids getting ripped from their parents at the border, silent about him withholding the funds that were allocated by the very same Congress she's serving from the Ukrainian government, which got him impeached the first time, but she did not impeach him. She was silent on his bungled response on COVID. and him lying about saying he's immune, and silent on to have people inject themselves with bleach. Even though it's disappointing that she's getting what she deserved, but God is slapping her on that ass to make her humble. And now she's on TV playing victim. But then you got these people like Lawrence Tribe saying she could be a presidential candidate if she doesn't run for, on the Republican ticket. Let me tell you something, Lawrence. You was never an ally. No matter how many times you appeared on these shows with black anchors on MSNBC and CNN, you were never, ever an ally. You was on that letter with some of them activists trying to get Elizabeth Warren to be the vice president to Joe Biden. And Joe Biden basically put that shit under the rug because he didn't give a fuck. So, now that you're caping, Mr. Tribe or Professor Tribe, whatever you want to call yourself, for a person who basically hates democratic policies and has a disdain for black people according to her voting record, you ain't shit. So therefore, Mr. Tribe, you can keep your motherfucking comments to your motherfucking self. Yes, I have my face like that because he don't deserve any nice words. But Liz Cheney is getting what she deserved. And for Adam Kissinger to show his ass on The View and being treated with kid gloves, I have a problem with that too. Because Adam Kissinger was the next person in line to vote 90% with Donald Trump. So he was a few percentage points behind Elizabeth. And he wants to stand up for the truth. And people are telling me not to criticize the man. I'm going to criticize the man one way or another because he was silent on the same things that Elizabeth was silent on. During the protests, he did not stand in solidarity. He actually did not vote for the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. And he did not vote for HR 1. But somehow he's a motherfucking hero. I stand by him. Because some of them white moderates tweeted that I stand by you, Adam, Congressman Kissinger. Fuck. What? You didn't even impeach him the first time neither, sir. So now you want to say, oh, I stand by the truth and I stand by this. Man, fuck you. We don't need you. We do not need you, sir. And to all these people and to all these white moderates that are independent and Republicans and even a little bit in the Democratic Party who are caping for Elizabeth Lynn Cheney and Adam Daniel Kissinger, you guys ain't shit neither. You ain't shit. I should say that. You ain't. And the reason why you ain't shit is because you know these motherfucking records when it comes to policies that help your black counterparts. That supposedly help your black counterparts, but they vote against it. So I'm going to say this again. So the white moderates that are independent in the Republican Party and some in the Democratic Party who are standing by Elizabeth Lynn Cheney and Adam Daniel Kissinger ain't shit. And you got a problem with me saying that? You can kiss my ass. Because I meant what I said. You know their voting record. You know their policy stands. You know they don't care for people that look like me, because if they did, they would have voted for the John Lewis Voting Rights Act and the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. And they did not. They did not even vote for the stimulus bill, the American Rescue Plan. So why are we sticking up for these motherfuckers? I have no idea. But I bet you if it was the other way around, do you think these two will stand in solidarity with the Democratic Party? No, they wouldn't. So my advice to these moderates, stop sticking up for motherfuckers that are not going to stick up for you. Period. Yeah, that's why, like, he voted against the Equality Act. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But who am I? See, I got a list of stuff. And for Elise Stefanik, who has a 78% record, she don't have the record as Elizabeth Cheney. She's going to be the person that's going to tank the Republican Party. She's not going to get other Republicans elected. She's going to sympathize with white supremacists. It's going to be more Democrats in the House, and the Democrats might pick up more seats in the Senate. Strong possibility. Because from the looks of it, nothing's going to sling their way as long as she is the GOP chair. Caucus chair person. And number 3 Republican. Yeah. Right? Exactly. But their history overall with the GOP used to be the party of the people back in 1865. They stopped being the party of the people, honestly, before the 20th century. I think after 1877. They stopped. Had a little history lesson from Roland Martin, but they've been stopped being the party of the people after Abraham Lincoln. Even after Grant, the 18th president, they stopped. They stopped. Calvin Coolidge was no friend to us. Theodore Roosevelt had his racist history too, but Calvin Coolidge was not for us. You know, what's his name? Hoover wasn't shit. Eisenhower tried to find some middle of the ground, but still wasn't shit. And you know, Nixon was a whole ass crook and a racist. Gerald Ford was stupid. Ronald Reagan, you know he was a whole entire bigot in casual clothes. And the Bushes act like they didn't want to be part of it. Both of them. And Richard Cheney, Liz's daddy, is the reason why we got problems in the Middle East. And he wasn't for people neither. And also LBJ, yeah, he got a racist history too. And the only reason why he was pushed to do those things because of Kennedy's thing that he wanted to do. And he was also pushed too because of Martin Luther King. Let's not get that twisted. But overall, the Republican Party haven't been shit for a very long time. So, standing in solidarity with them? No, I don't think so. And I was born during the Republican administration. I was born during the Reagan administration, the second half. I was born in 1986. And I was born during the crack era, the height of the crack era. And I was born where the crack money was, in Harlem. So, you do the math. He wasn't shit. So, stop defending them. And that's another thing with the whole gas problem. That is not the president's problem, nor the vice president's problem. It's a private company. It's the colonial thing. The gas issue is a shortage of gas because of a cyber breach that hacked the company, the colonial whatever thing. All I know, there's a shortage of gas in the DMV area and even the South. And yes, and them same little white people, they're hogging up the gas. I mean, well, damn. Why do that? Like, you getting help, you getting FEMA help. Like, why are you doing that? And yeah, and I'm glad. And see, you have a president that actually knows how to deal with cyber issues. Like what Lauren said, Joe Biden is the most prepared guy for the job. because of his history and his experience. From the Senate to the vice presidency and now the president. And he served under the first African American president, and now he has the first African American, well, the black and Southeast Asian woman serving under him as his vice president. Yeah, I heard gas is $5. Gas is crazy. But to the Republicans trying to blame the president for this, it's not the president's fault. It's the company's fault. You blame them. Don't blame the guy that just got there 3 months ago, well, almost 4 months ago, and is getting motherfuckers vaccinated and got them their stimulus checks. Chantay, why are you caping for Joe Biden so hard? I'm not caping for anybody. I see results. I see what they're doing. And as far as I have been alive on this planet Earth, I saw the Clinton administration, I saw the Obama administration, and now the Biden administration. Those three administrations have inherited messes on top of mess. Bill Clinton inherited 12 years of a mess, had to clean that up right away. President Obama had to inherit a whole bad economy and almost a crashing stock market and a crashing automobile industry and 32 million uninsured Americans. And now President Biden has to handle a global pandemic with a failing economy, an immigration problem, a cybersecurity problem, and much more. And Carter did handle a mess too. He was before my time, but he handled a mess. The 70s was a whole recession. This is stuff that lived experience. So, because I have some friends that, were mad at me because I supported Kamala Harris for president during the primaries. And then now that I voted for the Biden and Harris administration, when you vote, you have a voice. And when you don't vote, that's what happened. And thank you, Kyle, for saying I tell the truth. And thanks, T. And thanks, K. But you got to be real. It's facts. As long as I've been alive on this earth, Democratic presidents have cleaned up the economy and cleaned up a Republican mess, whether you agree with some of the stuff that they did in the administration or not. They cleaned up a mess, especially the economy, because it seemed like they always having to inherit an economic problem. Also, Bill Clinton inherited a problem with the war on AIDS and, and crime. And it's the truth. So when people was like, oh, why are you defending them? I told you why. My advice, read a book. It's in your history book. And some of the history book don't tell you the stuff, so it's important for you to read. And yeah, Queen Lion is true, girl. That's right. I'm almost done. Yeah, he wanted to say the word AIDS, but the crazy part is Rock Hudson was his friend. And he stopped being his friend when Rock Hudson said, I had AIDS. And Rock Hudson was gay. That whole time. Gay. And you know who had his back? Elizabeth Taylor. She sure did. I haven't seen that, but from what I heard, he dragged them down. But Marjorie Taylor Greene lost money for her state. Her district in Georgia. And they're so stupid they still support her when she don't even sit on no committee. Yeah, Eric Swalwell's about that life. And keep in mind, his family members are Republicans, which is crazy. Yeah, they do. But in terms of the mayoral race, I talked to my mom, and this is in my opinion. Everybody got their own opinion. As a native New Yorker that's been watching this and still live in the city, who did well in the debates tonight? I mean, last night. See how tired I am. Last night, in my opinion, was Maya Wiley, Eric Adams, then Diane Morales. As much as I don't agree with Diane Morales' politics, she held her own. She did hold her own. That I give credit to. I don't have to agree with you, but if you know how to hold your own in a debate, I give my props to you. In terms of Catherine Garcia, that's a huge disappointment because I expected her to come in there and be like this, and that at Andrew Yang, or like at Ray McGuire, or like at Sean Donovan. And the fact is that, you know, you got the New York Times endorsement. And your debate performance was like that. At least they could have gave that endorsement to Maya Wiley. I thought she would have got that endorsement. And Sean Donovan was mentioning President Obama's name so much. And Ray McGuire don't even know how New York City politics works, coming from the corporate world, which he benefits from the gentrification and the corporate money and this and that. Let's see, Scott Stringer is just a whole entire nerd and a whole entire mess. And he's a bad controller. And let's see. Who else? I'm missing someone. And yeah, Andrew Yang is just a disaster warning. He's so dumb. And so dumb. And speaking of Georgia, he did not, and I'm going to repeat this, because his supporters got so mad at me. He did not help turn Georgia blue. All he did was knock on some doors to talk about the candidates. That's all he did. And did a little bit of phone banking. You know who helped? You know who was responsible for it? LaTosha Brown, Black Voters Matter, and Stacey Abrams with Fair Fight. That's who turned Georgia blue. Those two black women and their organizations. Not Andrew Yang. And I wish his supporters will cut the bullshit and stop putting the screenshot of LaTosha Brown thanking him for helping knocking on doors. Because at the end of the day, it was two black women. And they've been doing this work for years. Not for months, for years. They were doing it back in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. And they're still doing it. They're still doing it. Because they got to foot their state legislators and all that shit. So I don't understand him. And I'm so glad. And people may disagree with me. I am so glad that Eric Adams called him on that. Because everybody else just sat there was like this. Let him say that shit. And then you had Eric Adams was like, you need to stop saying that. I heard you saying that, and I'm tired of you saying that. You taking credit away from Stacey Abrams and all the black women that helped flip Georgia blue. I mean, where was the other voices in there that, you know, should have said something? Y'all waited for the same guy that y'all attacked to be the voice of reason? The WNBA and the strippers did more than he did. That's right. The women of the WNBA and the strippers, the booty to the poles women. Yes, right. The one that was shaking their ass, the one that Tyreek Nasheed had a problem with. They got people to vote. Black women saved Georgia. They saved our democracy. Not no goddamn Andrew Yang. And Eric was not having that revisionist shit. I wish other people would have spoke up besides Eric, because Eric seemed like he was the only one that spoke up against it. Because you get tired of that. You get tired. You don't. Why? And his supporters, speaking of one of his supporters, see, this is the reason why I did this live. It's time to read bitches for who they are. So, one of his supporters had the audacity to tweet this to me, to moi. Apparently, going to Georgia in person, putting in the work, knocking on doors, and educating people on the candidates isn't helping. He laughed. Yes, Stacey Abrams did lead the way and did the most work. Though to say nobody else helped is a blatant lie and absurd. So let me tell the libertarian socialist something. And by the way, he blocked me like a little bitch. Stacey Abrams, her organization Fair Fight, LaTosha Brown and her partner, their organization Black Voters Matter, did the work. They were on the ground. They were educating voters, talking to voters how to register, how to sign up, what to do, who's the state legislator, who's the people that is responsible to lead your area in Georgia and throughout the South. So those two women are the ones responsible. And for the libertarian socialists and all the gang people, y'all ain't shit. Y'all ignorant. And y'all dumb as fuck. And y'all some racist and misogynistic ass motherfuckers on top of it. To tweet that dumb shit to me, to moi, proves your racism and your misogyny. You got the right one. Because I am not that bitch to sleep on. I am highly educated. It's a quick Google search to know who was responsible to flip Georgia blue. I wish people will stop giving this man, who was not qualified to run this mayor race and wasn't qualified to run in the presidential race, all the praise and glory like he's somebody. Because he's not. He's not. That's why his ass got dragged. And I was very happy that Eric did that. Because nobody seemed they didn't want to touch him. They didn't want to drag him in the debates. And that was another thing that annoyed me in the debates. Like, why y'all did not get Andrew Yang on his comments about Palestine? That's the part that pissed me off too. That was another thing. Because y'all got everybody else on all their stuff. Y'all got Sean on his stuff. Y'all got Maya on her stuff. Y'all got Eric on his stuff. You got Diane on her stuff. But y'all didn't get Andrew Yang on his comments about Palestine. Y'all got him on that he did not vote. But I was like, that was the easy part. Y'all ain't got him on the Palestine stuff or the LGBTQ stuff. Y'all ain't got him on that. That was dumb. That was real dumb. But people are very smart in this city. And if they were really smart, they will not vote for him. Not. Like I said, my ranking choice is Maya and Eric. Those are my two choices. I don't have a third one. But I have those two. Because those two they are ready for prime time. They're ready to take this city and to whip up their hands. They just got two different views on two different things. But the one thing they do agree on that Bill de Blasio ain't shit. And one used to work for him. So, those are my two ranking choices. As a person who lives in this city. But, these progressives, seem to be very misguided about policy. Because this is my last topic and I'm going to talk about it. So I don't know who this girl is, but her tweets was floating around the way. And I only got screenshots some of it because she actually ended up locking her account. So here it goes. Her name is Delaney Vandergrift. And this is what she said. I regret voting for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. It's killing my conscience. I knew I shouldn't have it while I was in the ballot. Okay. Ooh. I read this wrong. I should have my glasses. So let me read her tweet again. So like I said, Delaney Vandergrift tweeted this yesterday, I believe. Yeah, yesterday at 1:36 p.m. And it so happened the tweet went viral. And people basically slander her for it. So here it is. I regret voting for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. It's killing my conscience. I knew I shouldn't have while I was in the ballot box booth, and everyone who said it wasn't actually a vote against fascism was maybe right. And then she said, we talked so much in November about what we were voting against, and we said fascism. But what about what's going on, what we're voting for? It's just not sitting right with me. So, Delaney, I guess you haven't been paying attention what's been happening last 4 years. Maybe you're just ignorant and dumb and self-absorbed and so caught up in your own world. Poor progressives. For the last 4 years, what has been going on in this country, it's beyond what I've seen in my lifetime. This man was elected president when I was 30. I thought I was going to see a woman president when I turned 30 that year. Obviously, I didn't. When the New York bum, that's right, the New York bum became the leader of the free world, he immediately overturned a lot of legislation that helped people like me or people like you. He had policies that affected people like me and like you, Delaney. In terms of the education policies that gave students a break on their taxes, they eliminated that in that tax law. They rolled back protections that protected people like me and like you, Delaney. In terms of healthcare, they rolled back the stuff of, birth control. That you could get birth control on your from your insurance. Roll that back, that you got to pay for that out of pocket. And all the other contraceptives when you're having sex to protect yourself from any diseases or pregnancy. And a whole other host of things, because there's so much to say. But for Delaney to tweet that and thought it was cool and trendy because you've been watching TYNT, Ryan Knight, Bad Faith Failing Podcasts, and all this other shit, you thought that shit was cool. Well, guess what, Delaney? You look like a whole fucking ass because you got dragged on Twitter and now you had to lock your account because you realize how dumb that shit was. See, with these progressives online, the white ones and their brown stomping soldiers, aka the abolitionists, what they fail to realize is when you criticize the most progressive presidency since LBJ, you realize how dumb you look when you talk about the things you want and they're actually doing the things that you want. They gave you stimulus. They reenact some of the stuff during the Obama administration. They're actually doing their best to reunite kids with their parents. They're passing a big, massive infrastructure bill, the American Jobs Plan. Also, standing up against violence against Asians. Let's see, the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act, which is supposed to be in the Senate. Debated in the Senate to be signed soon, and all other hosts of racial inequity things. And also, the president himself signed 47 executive orders that is taking in effect now. So folks like Delaney, who keep listening to people that's just feeding her propaganda and bullshit, I don't know what to tell you. I feel bad for you. I really do. Because you're just misguided. And that's all I have left for you. But to folks like Bree, to folks like David Serrata, who keep spreading, and Ryan Knight, who keep spreading propaganda, you're about to go through some things very soon. I believe Bree is going through stuff right now. Not sure about David, not sure about Ryan, but trust me, shit's going to hit the fan soon. They're losing subscribers. One of their shows are now, I believe, is free on Patreon. Bree, hint, hint. And people just not believing you guys anymore. It's so sad, like, folks like Delaney has to, like, tweet your propaganda and lock her account for doing that. But, you guys are going to go through a mist of shit. And trust me, that list I put out on Twitter is only just the beginning. Because soon, you're going to realize that the money is drying up and the grift is over. So, David, I hope Daily Poser is surviving, because it seemed like it's not. You keep talking about my governor, which I know he's not perfect, but you live in Denver. Worry about your state. And actually worried about finding a job at CNN. But then again, you have a terrible past, so they're not going to hire you. Ryan, worry about actually keeping your mortgage, because I don't know how long you're going to be in your house. And Bree, try to save your reputation and not begin to be like, a Benedict Arnold, because that's what you're acting like. Well, you've been acting like that for the last 4 years. So my advice for you guys, pray harder. Whoever you pray to, pray harder, because times are going to be rough. Times are going to be rough. And to Miss Turner, Chantay did not drag you. Chantay basically told the truth. So for you to get upset and your supporters trying to swarm her account, you look real whack for that. But I hope if there's a debate, that you lose your debate, because I don't live in Ohio. But I assume that you're not going to get the nomination, because there's receipts on you of dragging the Democratic Party. And it will be played over and over and over and over again. That's what happens when you sleep in a bed with white devils. But I know I was supposed to finish last, but let me see. I have to find this tweet that I screenshot, because this person called me a name. And I found it very interesting. So this person, I guess their name is, she's a Bronx progressive. I don't even know what her name is. I could care less. All right, T, take care. So this woman here said, tweet this, quote, tweeted my tweet with this bullshit. You notice that this tweet, Chantay implicitly views at Nina Turner, Brianna Gray, at Cornell West, at J_man prime 21, I don't even know who that is, at Socialist MMA, at Compton Made Me, don't know who that is, at Unholy Room, I don't know who that is, and at GH Journal, don't know who that is, and others, as submissive white agendas. Wow, toxic erasure of people of color. There's Chantay. As if I'm not black. And then she said that Chantay, propagandists can be volunteers and act on solely their own as you ensure. Because I told her, like, please note where I'm a propagandist, because she said, to clarify, at Shantizi is openly a propagandist for the establishment now, and she attempts to use identity politics to hide that truth. So I asked her, where's the proof that I am a propagandist for the establishment? Where's the proof? She kept giving words and empty platitudes. So, Bronx progressive 2004 girl, whatever your name is, I am not a propagandist. I don't work for the DNC or the DSSC. I am a blogger. Unpaid. Unbossed. Unbought. I am my own entity without funding. And no, I don't want no money. And no, I don't want a podcast. And no, I don't want to be on a major network. But if I'm booked, that is great. I'm just a regular schmegular, degular girl that live on the Upper West Side, originally from Harlem, just talking to people about politics, because I've been talking about politics since I was a kid. And as a mid-30-something-year-old woman, I like to talk about it on my free time. Do I want to work for anybody in Washington or New York politics? Hell no. Politics is dirty as fuck. So, Bronx progressive girl, because I keep forgetting your name because that's how much of a non-factor you are, but you call me a propagandist. You can take your leftist propaganda that is pre-opped with Russian propaganda and shove it up your fucking ass. And stop listening to Brianna Gray, Ryan Knight, David Serrata, Katie Harper, and more of them. Because that's where you're getting your shit from. And oh, yeah, the socialist MMA. Stop getting your shit from them. Because they're lying to you. They're trying to take your money. Because they need your money to survive. Because without your money, they will not be where they at right now. They will be on the street line for food, as my friend says. But I am going to log off. Thank you for watching. This video will be on my YouTube, so you can look at YouTube. I'll post some clips up, during in a few moments. But thank you for watching, and be blessed this weekend. Do something fun. Bye-bye.